In this video, we're going to focus on subtracting integers. What we're actually going to do is change our subtraction to addition and use our addition rules. So we don't have new rules to remember here because we'd have too many of them to remember. What we're going to do instead is use the fact that to subtract means to add the opposite. So when we are subtracting, we're going to change the subtraction to addition. We're going to add, and then change the sign of the next number, the opposite. So to subtract literally means to add the opposite. So we change to addition and change the sign. We add the opposite. Then we follow our two addition rules that we talked about in the last video. So remember our addition rules, if your signs are the same, you add and keep the sign. And if your signs are different, you subtract and keep the sign of the larger. So we're going to keep coming back to these two rules as we talk subtraction. All right, so let's take a look at what I mean by change to addition and then change the sign of the next number. So again, these are subtraction. I know there's subtraction. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. I know there's subtraction because of that subtraction sign right there. Subtraction, 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 subtraction. So these are all subtraction because of the subtraction signs in the middle. Notice that a subtraction sign and a negative sign look the same. That's not by coincidence. They're the same. To subtract means to add the opposite. So that is the opposite. That's a negative. Okay, so here we go. 2 minus a negative 2. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition and change the sign of the very next number. So it was negative. I change it to positive. Now I have 2 plus 2. Signs are the same, so I add and keep the sign, which is positive. So I don't write it. So I added the opposite. Okay? In the next example, negative 1 minus 10. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition and change the sign of the next number. So that's going to be negative 10. Now I am adding because I've changed it to addition. They're both negative. So I add and keep the sign. My next example, 8 minus 7. Well, hopefully you can all just go, well, that's just 1. But let's use our rule anyway. I'm going to change my subtraction to addition, change the sign of the next number. So it's 8 plus a negative 7. Signs are different, so I subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. Keep the sign of the larger is 8. So it's positive. Again, I probably wouldn't use my rule there. I know 8 minus 7. I've been doing that one since kindergarten too. All right, here, subtraction. So I'm going to change to addition, change the sign of the next number. So I'm going to change this to addition, change this to positive. Now I am adding, and the signs are different. 8 is bigger, so 8 minus 6 is 2. The 8 is negative, so it's negative 2. The next one, 48 minus a negative 31. So change the subtraction to addition. Change the sign of the next number. Now I'm adding, and they're both positive. So I add and keep the sign. So 979. And my last example, I have minus a negative 3. So I'm going to change to addition, change the sign of the next number. Now I am adding, and my signs are different, negative, positive. So I subtract, 3 minus 1 is 2. Keep the sign of the larger, the 3 is larger, so it's a positive 2. And that is all there is to subtracting with your integers.